Now what's interesting is that, yes, timeline and the construct of the timeline is only in your head. It is in your head, let's admit it. It's not out here, it's not, it's in your head.
And you're doing a process of active imagination, but the emotions disappear.
And we treat everything that happens as a gigantic metaphor from the unconscious mind. And yet, and now we're getting weirder, and yet we
and like we're not weird already.
have clients and students give us the feedback that what they went back in the time, what they experienced when they went back in events in the timeline was the real memory that happened then, and they verified with parents and they verified with relatives.
I gotta tell you guys a story.
Yeah, I was first.
Go ahead.
So remember that, yeah?
Sure. Hurry up.
Remember the story.
Hurry up.
So
I have short memory.
In a secret of creating your future, we get to the guilt part, and this lady, she goes back and she lets go of guilt. And it just happened that in Australia we have the secret of creating your future. One day off and we start a practitioner. So she comes to the practitioner, and she didn't say anything during the secret of creating your future, but during the practitioner, when we go to the timeline therapy, she said, no, I have to tell you this. It's too weird, I have to tell you this. So when she did guilt during the secret of creating your future, she went back to an event where she was 4 months old in the womb, 4 or 5 months old in the womb. And she experienced this tremendous guilt. She went back, her mom's alive, and she went back home and asked her mom, Mom, what happened when you were pregnant with me and I was about 4 or 5 months old? And mom burst into tears and said, how do you know about this? I said, this is what happened. When I was pregnant with you and your brother was already 3 years old, my father had a stroke. And so I was torn between taking care of my father, who was sick, and taking care of my family, your brother, and being pregnant with you. And I said one day when I was so tired and so overloading of running around and taking care of everybody, I said, God, if you have to take one, at least take the one that's unborn. And I felt tremendously guilty the moment I uttered that. And the child felt that guilt, genealogy, felt that guilt, and lived with that guilt unknowingly at the unconscious level. And she was now, I don't know, late 30s, early 40s, something like that. So if you wonder if the timeline is real and you can access records from the past, we believe you can. We treat it as a metaphor. We treat it as a symbol. We treat it as an archetype. Yes, we do. And yet some people recover information, and this example that Ted wants to give you is another one of those.
I had a client who went back to her conception and accurately described her parents' state as she was conceived. Then she went back and told her mother, and her mother went like this, who told you that? That bastard, your father? I'll get him for this. So she went back and told her mother the exact state that both parents were in when she was conceived. Things like that are kind of weird. Kind of weird, but the timeline does seem to be the accurate record of who you are.
See, we said yesterday, and would like to repeat, it's not that your unconscious mind doesn't record everything, because it does. The question is, can you retrieve that information consciously? That's the only question. Now, the more you work with the unconscious mind, the more you get in rapport with your unconscious mind, the more unity and oneness is between the two modes of functioning, between the two minds. And I'm pointing toward my stomach and toward my brain because it's said, the wisdom of the ancients says that the unconscious mind resides below your solar plexus and your conscious mind resides in your brain. And so the more unity exists and oneness exists between these two modes of functioning, the more access you have to your own memories from all times, and also via the unconscious mind you have access to all memories of the human race. Because we're just a little part, each and every one of us, we're part of a gigantic memory bank that's the whole memory bank of the whole human race. So do cherish your unconscious mind, do work with your unconscious mind, do free your unconscious mind of all this stuff that's carrying around. Mistakenly misunderstanding your conscious mind direction, and also pay attention to what are you thinking of. As hypnotherapists, you know that the greatest suggester to yourself Because we're afraid of acquiring suggestions from outside and being influenced from outside. But just few of us realize that the greatest suggestor to our unconscious mind is...
It's you.
Yeah.
You give the most negative suggestions to yourself.
When you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror and you go, God, I look like crap today, that's a suggestion. When you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror and you say, God, I look good, I slept good, look, my face is rested,
That's
I really
a
feel
suggestion.
good. That's a suggestion.
Even your evaluations become suggestions to the unconscious mind.
Because your unconscious mind likes to take order from your conscious mind. Your unconscious mind, think of it as being your little brother or sister. Think of your unconscious mind as being your little brother or sister that looks up to your conscious mind like this. Wow, here is the conscious mind. I want to become like that.
Did you ever watch a little kid look up to an older brother or sister?
And they want to become like that. They model that. They are inspired by the bigger brother or sister. And so this is how your unconscious mind is in the body. It's the little brother or sister you have that models the conscious mind. Now, that means your conscious mind has a great duty and responsibility to treat your unconscious mind, first of all, with love and respect, and then be very careful. What thoughts are you focusing on? What thoughts are repetitive in your mind? What are you doing? What are you communicating to the unconscious mind? Because your unconscious mind uncritically will accept suggestions from your conscious mind. Your unconscious mind doesn't have any critical faculty or any logical thinking and will accept everything you give him or her. And this is another great secret. And again, it's not a miracle, it's not magic, it's not anything. We can't wave the magic wand and make you be kind and gentle to your unconscious mind. We can. No, unfortunately, it doesn't work. No, the poof doesn't work. It's a nice wand though, very useful. You can sieve liquids with it. But that is a matter of you disciplining your thoughts, being aware. What are you thinking of at any given moment? See, especially in moments like daydreaming, when your thoughts go wherever they go. These are the greatest moments when your critical faculty is not so strong.
Are you going toward what you want?
And you slip a suggestion in and your unconscious mind creates it just like this.
Or are you going toward what you don't want?
Yeah.
Or away from what you don't want?
Yeah, that's another one of the important secrets of this weekend.
Good.